I have watched several videos on those portable refrigerators, and there are some really great channels like Hobotech. The link is in the description. But many of those channels don't really cover if those insulated refrigerator covers make any significant difference in how much power it uses, or if you get to last longer than a day, or so on. Doesn't make any significant difference to justify the cost of those covers, which go for about $60 to $75. Sometimes you might argue that maybe just a slightly bigger battery would compensate for the price of the cover. And I want to go more into details to determine whether that's the case or not. Now, personally, I like this brand, Bougerv. In fact, I bought a second one, which I'll be doing another test on it soon. But I wanted to point out that Bougerv is not sponsoring this video in any way. I have everything in this video I've purchased with my own money, so this is going to be a very honest review. Having that said, I found that brand, Bougerv, provides the best quality features to price ratio compared to the competition. They even provide you with a 2-year warranty on everything, and you can extend it to 3 years for free if you just sign up on their Facebook page. Anyways, for this test, I have chilled a bottle of water at a regular fridge temperature, which is 2 Celsius or 35.6 Fahrenheit. Now, all tests is based on this number. Everything is that I'm testing is going to be a regular refrigerator temperature. I'm not testing the freezer because the whole point of this isn't really to go into details into this type of portable refrigerator and its features, or even this fact that you can go eco mode or max mode. And basically the difference is you cap the maximum amount of watts you're able to pull on that. So in this specific refrigerator, it's 35 watts on eco mode or 50 watts max on the max mode. This is only useful, in my opinion, whether you are able to compensate, like is the compressor is going to compensate for the amount of heat. So either it's going to take you longer to cool, or if it's really hot outside, it will never have enough power to bring down the temperature or keep it steady. So that's something you kind of determine by yourself, but this is not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to find out if this cover is going to make any significant difference to justify the cost, or should you just buy a bigger battery. So that's the whole argument, that's the whole point of testing this. Now, I have done several tests indoor and outdoor, and you're going to be seeing this in the video. Obviously, everything is time-lapse to go faster because you don't have days to watch this video. You want to get to the bottom of it. Just want to give you the parameters that we're using here. So the inside temperature during all the tests is 22 degrees Celsius or 71.6 Fahrenheit. The test outdoors, and I've done this over several days, so I waited for the conditions to be identical for 4 days. So it took pretty much a couple of weeks to do that. And the outside temperature was varying between 22 to 24 degrees Celsius or 71.6 to 75.2 Fahrenheit with direct sunlight on the refrigerator, which you're going to see that as well. Now, in this video, I have used several power stations, or they call them solar generators. This specific one in the beginning, I used the EcoFlow River Max battery. Again, the link is in the description if you're interested in knowing more about it. The other thing that's very important is actually the device that monitors and measures the power, the voltage, the amps, and so on. And I really highly recommend this device because you can use it across many types of inputs and outputs, from USB, USB-C, DC 5.5, which is in the case what I'm using here, micro USB, and so on. You can even log all this data into your iPhone or your Android device. So it's really highly recommended. It's not really that expensive. I think it's about $45 at the time when I purchased this. Anyways, the first day I tested the fridge outside without a cover for the entire day to determine how much power it would use. Then I waited for another day, very similar condition, to do the same test with a cover, and did the entire day and determined also how much power this one would use. And I have done this outdoor twice, so a total of 4 days, and I averaged out those numbers. So here's some data for you. Both days were very similar conditions, again 22 to 24 or 71.6 to 75.2 Fahrenheit with direct sunlight, and I have tested it on eco and max mode just to determine if the ratio or the percentage gain would be different, or would it make any significant difference in the gain or ratio that you're going to be gaining if you have a cover on or not have a cover on? So the numbers for the outdoor with a cover would be approximately 15.23 watts per hour, or 365.52 watts for the whole day. And without a cover, it would be approximately 17.69 watts per hour, or 424.5 watts per day, which is approximately 59 watts per day lower if you have a cover on, or a gain of 16.16% improvement if you have a cover on. I even used a FLIR camera in order to determine where the heat is being mostly concentrated on, where the losses are, and where it's keeping cool, and you can see that also in the video. Now, the tests that were surprising were actually the indoor. So in the indoor, it was about approximately 11.52 watts per hour, or 276.48 watts per day with a cover, or without a cover, it's about 11.15 watts per hour, or 267.65 watts per day, which is only about 8 watts difference, or let's say 3.12 or 3.2 percentage improvement. So if you have a cover indoor, it's not going to yield any significant value for you whatsoever. Now, I found these numbers very surprising, as the temperature outdoor was a significant difference in the ratio gain with or without a cover. And it seems that the insulation cover is actually doing a great job blocking the sun heat from heating the fridge. And one would argue perhaps just keeping the fridge in a shaded area would yield a significant difference than buying the cover, and that perhaps is true. Now, obviously, if it was a far hotter day, then yes, the ratio will be less, but I'm trying to give it the worst conditions where you are actually trying to keep the heat out and you have no ability to be in any shaded area. So that's why I did this test. So it's obviously your percentage will vary based on how well you did the conditions, or how well you isolated outside, or if there's shaded area or not shaded area. But this is kind of the top or the max you're going to be saving, which is about 16%. To put things in perspective, I bought a cheap LifePo 4 battery, which has or rated to be 1,000 cycles before the capacity drops to 80%. And those go for about $130, also the link in the description. The reason I went with that is I tried to show the cheapest good battery option you can use, and how long will it last you with this fridge, just to give you a determination whether this is the kind of path you want to go or not, or just go with a bigger battery. Now, this battery is rated for about 200 watts or 204 watts, but in all my tests with the efficiency loss, it's about 185 watts of actually usable DC power. So with that, it basically would give you an ability to run 26 minutes longer, or 2.7% longer, on that same battery indoor, while outdoor the cover would save you about an hour and 25 minutes, so 13% more efficient that way. This kind of determines, again, you have to average out because this is over several days. So this is where it makes the biggest difference. So even at the smallest battery of usable 185 watts, you're gaining an hour and 25 minutes longer with that cover. Now, with the current prices of those batteries, which is roughly about, I would say, $1 per watt. And of course, some batteries give you better features. Some of them are regular lithium batteries, some of them are LifePo 4, which gives you more cycles than the 500 cycles and so on. But it depends obviously on the brand. Sometimes you could go up to $1.5 per watt, but let's continue with the average of about $1 per watt that you'll be paying. So to make it a determination, basically, for that same value, I would argue that you would need, based on those calculations, you need about 59 or 60 watt bigger battery to not use the cover, which is the saving you're going to be doing. The cover is going for about $60 to $75, depending on what deal or what savings you have during this period of time, and there are coupons that go from time to time. If you're just doing this indoor, you would just need an 8 watt bigger battery, which doesn't make sense based on the cost. So I wouldn't even use a cover indoor, because you're paying $60 to $75 to save 8 watts, or $8 in this case. Now again, the cover is gonna be roughly between 13 to 16% refrigerant. So it doesn't matter if you use eco mode or max mode, or if you're gonna be and these are again outside worst condition, and it doesn't really matter if you're going to be using different type of covers or different types of brands. Relatively speaking, that number will hold to the certain degree. Obviously it's going to vary a little bit, but one would argue that the cover still provides some additional benefits, like, you know, scratches on cuffs, or the additional pockets, or ability now to carry it with kind of a handle. So there are some pros there that you're getting that I would argue be worth buying this cover. Now, if you decide to go with a bigger battery, and I mean, there are several options, and there's some, you know, additional features that come with those bigger batteries, and as you can see, I have a good number of collections. I mean, my personal favorite would be the Blue Yeti. That's actually a new one that came out, which provides you about 268 watts, and it's a LIFO which goes over 3,000 cycles for only $239. Also the link in the description. There are several options that you go for the batteries, and they're not really that expensive, so you can go through that route as well. Anyways, just to summarize the whole video, the cover will save you outside in the worst conditions between 13 to 16% saving. Either go with a bigger battery, about 50 watts in this case, for about 24 hours, or buy the cover and have those additional features. I hope this video was useful for you. If you have any questions that you can come up with, please leave them in the description, and I will do my best to answer every single one of them.